Well, welcome back to Cyber. Thanks for joining me here today. And today I'm going to talk about something that is a bit of a shadow that looms over the cybersecurity industry. It is something that we have to talk about, and it's something that you're going to face in your journey to becoming a cybersecurity professional, whether that be in offensive security, red teaming, pen testing, whether it's defensive, SOC analyst, consulting, GRC, whatever it is, risk compliance type of thing, whatever it is that you want to do, at some point or another, you are going to face this. And this is not unique to cybersecurity. People in coding, in development, engineers, all sorts of tech backgrounds, people will face this, IT in general. And any type of career path where things can be intense, where the stakes are high, and are just overall intense environment. Cybersecurity is an intense job. It's an enjoyable job. I think most people really love and enjoy cybersecurity. It's an interesting field. It's a relevant field, more so now than at any time in the last 20 years. Is it more relevant right now? I'm not going to click any of these videos, but if you were to go on YouTube and type it in, you'll see that everyone has a perspective. All the creators have their perspective on it, probably based on their own experience in cybersecurity. I'm not going to click any of these videos because this is my video and I'm going to talk about my experience. So I've been working in cyber for almost 2 years now. If you've watched my channel, my other videos, I moved across into cyber from a trade background. I've also was a self-employed for a couple of years. I went back to what we call TAFE here in Australia, and I got my Cert 4 in cybersecurity, and then I moved into a cybersecurity company. I just started applying for jobs. I didn't let the whole "am I qualified enough" thing keep me back from trying. I just went for it, and it paid off. But it has been tough. It has been a very tough journey. It's been kind of 1 year after the other, like 1 year of full-time intense learning to going into a whole new working environment, into an intense reporting role where I was working in the SOC doing a lot of the reporting, to actually now being a junior consultant SOC analyst. It's been really intense, and I would say some of the biggest challenges that I've faced is the constant learning. So this is the first thing that you're going to find will drive a lot of the burnout. The constant learning is enjoyable. It's what makes this industry great. It's what makes cybersecurity exciting. You're not just doing the same thing all the time. Although your work might be similar things, there's always something new you're learning, and if you're that type of person, you will enjoy cybersecurity. However, that is where also the devil lies, and that is in the fact that it just doesn't stop. There is always another certification. There's always somebody in this field that knows more than you, that is way ahead of where you are, and that feeling of always being behind can drive some people a little bit crazy. It can lead to burnout. So the way I've been dealing with that is humility. You have to realize that this is a slow jog. This is not a sprint to the finish line. You will not last long in cybersecurity if you don't cultivate a healthy sense of balancing your learning and balancing your life outside. For example, are you exercising? Do you bake cookies or something? Do you have some kind of hobby that takes you away from cyber? I know guys who are like level 3, high up analyst, who go to like croissant cooking, making things and do, I know another guy I worked with in my first job. He likes baking and things like that. And it's such a random opposite hobby, but you need that. You need something that is essentially different. Okay. Okay. The second thing is, imposter syndrome, which ties into the first thing about always learning. It's very normal when you come into this career to feel a little bit of this imposter syndrome, because you're going to be working side by side with people who have probably been working in technology or security most of their life. They probably have degrees, and that can make you feel a little bit like the odd one out. As humans, we like to fit into our environment. We like to feel like that, that we belong, and that we have a place there. And there can be moments where you feel maybe dumb or insecure, and this imposter syndrome can lead you to burnout, okay? Because you're constantly feeling inadequate. You have to bring yourself into reality and remind yourself that at some point everyone started where you are, and that is at the beginning, not knowing anything. So you need to embrace that and accept that that is something that you're going to have to deal with. The other thing that leads to burnout in cyber is the shift work. So if you become, this mainly applies to those who become a SOC analyst, or maybe you're in offensive and you've got like a lot of projects on, maybe got some tight deadlines. There are going to be periods, like in most tech jobs and cyber, there are going to be periods where you're going to be working extra time. You're going to be working back. You're going to be stuck as a SOC analyst doing alerts. You're going to be on call or doing shift work. Okay, so for my personal job, I do my normal work, and then I also get periods of on call, and this is really hard if you're not used to it. This can really shock your body. Having interrupted sleep, or just being woken up and looking at some kind of alert at 2-3 o'clock in the morning when you're half asleep, not knowing what it is stressful. This is a stressful field. Organizations, clients are paying you and expecting you to help protect their organization, sometimes from threats and things that are completely unknown. You're constantly dealing with unknown variables and factors as an analyst, and that is stressful. Security is a stressful job. People pay lots of money for it, and therefore you are accountable. There are stakes involved with this job. So that is something you have to keep in your mind, and this can lead a lot of people, and myself included, to periods of just exhaustion, and just burnout in general. And it depends how intense your job is. Do you have to wear many hats? If you're in a smaller consultancy, for example, you might be doing many things simultaneously, and this is really hard on top of all the other things in life that you have to deal with, that we all have to deal with. So if you're coming into this career, or you're making a late career change, these are challenges you are going to deal with and you're going to have to navigate. But if you're ambitious and you're determined and you like cyber and you want to succeed in it, then you can absolutely overcome these challenges. And I might be repeating myself a little bit, but it's just relentless. Cybersecurity is just a relentless career path. It never ends. You're always learning. There's stress, there's uncertainty, there's also enjoyment and reward and novelty, but then sometimes there's repetition. You might spend hours working on something to someone not even appreciating it, or maybe not even saying thanks, or just going, oh yeah, cool, it's not a problem, and you just spent all that time investigating or doing something. It can be a thankless job. And I would say a big, if you bring all these things in together, it is a recipe for burnout. So looking after yourself is really important. I like to go to the gym, having a non-related hobby to cyber, getting away from the computer. I think getting into nature is an absolute must for people in technology, whether it's hiking, outdoors. I've fallen away from that myself. I need to get back outside and just get in touch with the real world, because you live in this digital world that just does not end. Especially if you're like in my role, I do threat intelligence, so I'm constantly reading about threats and state actors and what's going on, and that constant like feeding on that information constantly, it puts you on high alert, right? It puts you on edge, especially as an analyst, realizing the type of attacks and things that are circulating out there. It's full on. But I enjoy my work. I think you'll enjoy it and you'll love being in cybersecurity too. But just be careful of this shadow. It can consume people, and burnout can be a very hard thing to recover from. I have experienced burnout earlier in my life unrelated to cyber, and it is a horrible feeling. It can have negative psychological, emotional, and health consequences. So you do really need to take it seriously. Pace yourself with your learning. Don't try and keep up with people for the sake of just trying to keep up and look good. That's a mistake that I've made as someone who's ambitious and driven. I try to keep up with the team and try to keep up with others, but yeah, that is a quick way to burn out and to basically get exhausted, which I've experienced as well. But the benefits are worth it. So thanks for watching. Let us know down below about your experiences if you've burnt out, or maybe you're feeling right now like you're feeling a little bit that way. Reach out in the comments, and if you're new, tell me what you think. What do you think some of the challenges might be for you? Hear it. Please subscribe, like. Really appreciate the support to the channel. I want to make this into a platform that people can access and get you know good information, and the more people who support it, the more time we can spend doing that. So thanks very much, guys. Look after yourself, take care of your mental health, take care of your physical health, be good to people, and see you later.